Should.
No.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. We're very excited to have you here for our first Rel8hub podcast. We're joined by Mia Calderwood, entrepreneur, fantasy photographer extraordinaire, and the co-owner of an amazing new bookstore right here in Rigby, Between the Covers.
Between the Covers.
So we're so excited to have her here. She has a ton of experience in business, and we have some questions that we're going to run through with her and have her tell us about what we can do to all grow our business a little bit better. That sounds great.
Hopefully.
So I think the first thing is, let's start with what got you into, what was the first business you started and what got you into that?
So Design DNA, I've been doing that for about 5 years.
Okay.
My grandparents were actually photographers, so it is kind of a world in a way that I grew up in.
Yeah.
They did very different photography than what I do though. So I just kind of took my love for being a nerd and, ran with it. So it's, regardless of whether it's something that you grow up doing or around in life, you always have to have kind of your spin, your take. Otherwise, it's not your passion.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Definitely took what I knew and made it my own. Been doing that for 5 years. So.
Sweet. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so from that, you've grown that quite a bit. That I remember you even started hiring some people, right?
Yep. At one point, I had 2 associate photographers and an assistant. I can speak, I swear. Right now, I have 1 associate photographer underneath me. My other associate, with the change of the bookstore, I was like, I'm kind of slowing down a little bit, and so she took off and just launched her own photography business from there. So super excited for her.
Yeah. Oh, good.
It's kind of fun to mentor someone and then see them have just amazing success and stuff too.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So I'm sure throughout that process, especially as trying to grow it to the point where you can hire people, there's some great successes and some big challenges. What do you feel like were some of the bigger challenges that you encountered on that road?
I think one, you have to truly sit down and contemplate whether you have the mental capacity for growth.
Yeah.
Because you can always say you want more, and then burnout comes, the physicality of doing it, all of that. I think that's something that I experienced within my business to a certain extent. When you're only one person, can you do 30, 40 photo shoots a month? I did it.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
That's amazing. That's at least 1 a day.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So just truly having that come to Jesus moment of what can you physically do? And then it's okay, well, if I bring on a person, it's not just wash my hands, there you go. There's still so much work you have to do when it comes to team and the management and things like that. So it's an honest to goodness question that you have to have of what am I physically capable of doing? What is my business physically capable of doing at the moment too?
I love that. And I love that you also touched on the passion. So I think a lot of people, especially in our modern day, are chasing what they feel like is a quick win, right? That they want to just try and get some money as quick as they can. And so they might see something like photography or being a barber or hairstylist or something like that as I can go to school, get the skills, jump in, make tons of money.
Yeah. We definitely see that a lot in photography. I think there's the mindset that it's a great business for stay-at-home moms, and we see that in cosmetology a ton too. And it has the ability. I'm not going to deny that. I have, 4 kids, And a lot of times I was able to bring them with me to photo shoots, but there's some photo shoots you can't. And then it's, when are you going to edit when you have a screaming 2-year-old?
Yeah.
Like, love my husband to pieces, but there were times that I called him and I said, come get your kid, because I can't get stuff done. Like,
that's crazy. Yeah.
So, but I love that out of a lot of businesses, like, there is that ability. You just have to be realistic, because it's not always going to be that I get to like raise the kids alongside me. Like,
Yeah.
in theory.
So for someone who's trying to like figure out maybe what their passion in life is, and they're kind of lost, do you have any thoughts, recommendations on how to determine what it is you think they'll, what you'll like to do, or how did you find your passion? I guess might be another.
I think it kind of goes back to like, remember who you were as a kid. Like, what were the things that you were interested in? For me, I was always a huge book nerd, fantasy nerd, like all of those things. So to truly, be successful and to have a passion within the business, it had to be something that like was ingrained within me.
Oh, yeah.
So it's, what did you enjoy as a kid? I can tell you that like my son Finn, like, if this kid is not going to be like a computer programmer, like he is just, that is his passion. He could sit there and talk to you till he's blue in the face. So like, remember that inner child. I know that sounds really, really dumb, but like, honor who you were as a child and never let that passion that you had like die. Like, be a kid.
Yeah.
Always be a kid.
Oh, I love that. There's so many times where growing up, I had all these, different things that I loved, and business was one of them. I used to play down in my basement business where I pretend to hire people and like fire them and all this and give out salaries. But then, you start to go through life and it's like, no, you have to, at least for me, it's like you have to pick a career, you have to go to college, you have to do these things, right? You have to follow this sort of course. And I don't know, I lost my inner child for a while and reached a point where I was super burnt out, really just kind of hated life, and then decided to go back to those things, just like you're saying, that I loved as a kid. And now life is amazing.
Yeah, I think you'll find success when you honor like who you are at your core way more. And that comes with just follow, like anyone is going to have like a naysay, no matter what business you have in life. It's not going to be successful, and it's because those people knew you when you weren't successful. And they can't see you as successful in life. And so it's just, regardless of what anyone ever tells you, whether a business is going to be successful or not, like, you've just got to honor what you're passionate about and who you truly are at the end of the day. And that's going to be what creates success.
Love it. Speaking of naysayers, you started an amazing bookstore, which I've been in. We love it. But we'll get into the story of you starting it. But I think you also ran into some of those negative comments along the way.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you, especially as you're trying to grow your passion or start a business, deal with some of those negative comments?
I will say, the bookstore that we opened, it's a romance-only bookstore. I kind of looked at my business partner and I said, I really don't want to be overtly professional.
Yeah, and that's a perfect business to not be that way.
But you can't do that with every business. Like, you gotta like put on your big girl panties and stuff at like some point. But I just looked at her and said, like, I'm gonna clap back.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a business, and so we clapped back.
Yeah.
We didn't hold back and like our comments back to them. And to be honest, I think that people fell in love with us through that. They're like, whoa, okay, like they're equally as passionate about what they're doing, that they're not just letting people run them out of town. So
nice.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah, and I think that also, like you were saying, builds that personality of your brand too.
Oh, yeah.
And people love to latch on to those things.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna take a little pause here because we might be having some audio issues, if I'm understanding that. Okay. I don't know how to pause a live, so everyone take 5 for a second while Jonathan puts his face or tries to hide it from being on camera.
All right, well, hopefully that's better.
Yeah, let's see if that's anything. So, yeah, we were talking about the personality of a brand, and
Mhm.
that's what you guys have done with your bookstore.
Yeah, I mean, with the photography, I had to be a little bit more professional. Yeah, I'm a nerd. This is what I'm passionate about, and things like that. But as far as with the bookstore, we weren't.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, like I said, I think that's what people latch on to that, and you don't have to be like in my world, in the tech world, everyone wants to be the next Steve Jobs, right? But people don't want another Steve Jobs. They want another Mia or a Nate or something, right? They want your own individual thing. So what led you guys to this idea of starting this bookstore in a town that is pretty conservative and pretty religiously conservative as well?
Yeah, I'd like to say that we gave it a ton of forethought and planning, but not the case. So it was actually on my birthday. I was sitting there disassociating life as I do. And I came across a TikTok and I sent it to my friends and said, what if we just did this?
Yeah.
And my friend Bailey came back and she was like, yeah, why don't we do this? And so it was, well, this is what we'd call it.
Yeah.
And then, well, let's get permission from the husbands real fast. So, we both text our husbands and like, I think we're thinking about opening a bookstore, and neither one of them said like, no, absolutely not. So we registered a business name. Like it was like an hour of talking, and we registered a business name. We're lucky enough that we had the space that I was using for photography, which it does still double as a studio. But we just converted that into a bookstore. We opened in 35 days from the day we came up with the idea to the day we opened.
Which is crazy fast.
Yeah.
That's amazingly fast.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die. But at the same time, like time is money.
Yeah.
And to put in so much time, and it's still we just hit our 3 months being open. There's still a lot that we want to do as far as like getting this space completely perfect, but no one cared. Like, we had 1,000 people at our grand opening. It was like a line wrapped around the door.
That's amazing.
We've averaged about 20 to 30 customers in daily, which for an indie bookstore, that's huge.
Yeah.
We have now 4 different book clubs.
Wow.
So we'll get to the point where I guess we just have like a book club meeting a day.
Yeah.
So it's been a wild adventure for myself and my business partner Bailey. I'm incredibly grateful to have someone just as crazy as me to do this adventure with, for sure.
That's great. You need a good co-founder to be right there with you.
Yeah.
There's no way you can, especially on something this crazy, if I could say.
Oh, 100%.
Then having someone right there with you. One thing you just touched on too was you just kind of started, and I think you said the phrase like nobody cared. Like you just opened it, people came in and they just loved it. And I think even as entrepreneurs or people trying to start a business, you kind of get locked in this like prep phase. Mm-hmm. You can never get out of it because it's like everything has to be perfect. But I think you guys are kind of a testament that doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, but just get going.
You just get going. I mean, our grand opening in the first week, like our POS system was our phones. Like we downloaded the Square app and we just did it from there. I think there are way too many people, and I see this on a daily basis. I mean, they come into the bookstore and like, oh yeah, I want to do this. I want to just do it. Mm-hmm. Just do it. Like sometimes you need a little bit of prep work. I'm not denying that, but if you spend half of your life talking about doing something, you're never going to do it.
Yeah, just that they're spinning your wheels constantly. I would venture to say that our setup right now is an example of we're just jumping on and doing it. We're on a webcam on a surface, and there's a lot to be designed here. But if you get going, then you start to learn what the market wants, and you can actually refine it from there.
Yeah, it's funny that you talk about how, like, we live in such a religiously conservative area, and we do.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, them be feral.
Yeah.
They're feral. Sometimes you're thinking like, oh, I mean, we were like, if one person a day comes and visits us, that'll be successful, because we also had the mindset of like, we're opening in Rigby, Idaho. Like, it's a primarily religious conservative area. That's what it's known for being. But I think there are very much like the two different sides of life. And we do cater to all spice levels. Like, we joke about the smut, but like, we do have all spice levels. So we have those that are uber conservative come in and be just as comfortable as the people covered in tattoos, So it's fun to bring the two sides of the community together in a space that apparently they've been craving.
And it's working. When we went and visited, we noticed you found an untapped market that I think nobody here realized existed, and you guys jumped into it and built it, and it's working. So what's the future of the bookstore now? What's on the plans?
I'd like the edging of the paint to be finished.
There we go.
Don't look up.
That sounds like a husband job.
No, I mean, we just launched Blind Dates with a Kindle and audiobooks and things like that. We're having a retreat in July. I mean, I think we plan on our bookstore being so community focused.
Sorry. Everyone just got a nice close up of my face there. Okay, community focused.
So just really community focused, bringing a space that people feel comfortable in. I could very easily see years from now us having multiple locations, but I like the location that we're in. It feels very central to Idaho Falls, to Rexburg, things like that. So I just would love for us to finish the space. It's kind of hard to think too much in the future. I'd rather just see us finish it and continue to have the events and community focus that we have.
I love that. So I guess our final questions here. If you had any advice for yourself, say going back to a younger Mia who's just thinking about starting a business, what advice would you be giving that person? Yeah,
I mean, I worked in corporate for a long time. I worked for a big corporation here in the area. I think for a long time I did just as everyone else on the like, oh, I'm not going to be successful if I did this. This is a dream, but I have no idea how to get going. And it's the same advice that I give everyone. I'll just do it.
Yeah.
You're not going to have all the answers, and it's not necessarily going to be perfection. But you'll be surprised how many people are desiring what it is you're thinking of at the same time as well.
Awesome. I love that. And I think that is the perfect advice for entrepreneurs, whether you're a creator, photographer, hairstylist, trying to open a bookstore. Just get started, because you just never know. The customers are going to tell you what they want.
Yeah. And be genuine to you. I mean, 100%. There's so many photographers out there, and there's even a growing niche specific of fantasy photography, and that's great. That's phenomenal. They're never going to be you. There's lots of other bookstores in the area. I visited almost all of them. I love them. Still visit them. They're not going to be between the covers. Don't just think, oh, it's a saturated market. I'm not going to have success doing hair. I'm not going to have success doing photography, whatever it is. They can't be you.
Yeah. Especially in these types of industries, people like a photographer or a stylist or anything, they're really buying because of the person themselves, not necessarily because they need a haircut, which that's part of it, but they want the person too.
As you point to your own hair.
Well, I need a haircut. Well, that's awesome. So if someone wants to learn more about your photography or between the covers, how can they do that?
Yeah, so I on all the socials, photography has kind of had to take a little bit of a back burner as we've gotten the bookstore up and running. So I haven't updated like I usually would. Like normally I'm like a 5 posts a day kind of person. But you can find on TikTok and on Facebook and Instagram, Design DNA Creatives. As far as the bookstore, it's between the covers. I think TikTok is between the covers, Idaho. But yeah, we're all over all the socials.
Great. We'll link all those in our description here as well. But thank you, Mia, for being part of this and for she's our first guest, and it was a great
The
guest.
guinea pig.
Yeah. If anyone wants to learn more about how you can book or manage your own clients online, and especially with automation, setting text automations, email automations, all that, you can learn more at Rel8hub.com. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
And
thanks,
we'll hope to see you all next time.
Bye.
See ya. I don't know how to end it either.